I'm excited to color with you. Today I'm using this Stitched Shapes die to give myself a 3-inch circle. That's going to be where I'm going to color. Now you're looking at this stamp and thinking, well, that's bigger than that 3 inches. It's okay. We are going to, let's get this out of the way and put it back. We are going to stamp in that circle, and then we're going to put it on this card. Basic A2, 8.5 by 11, cut in half. Then I have a 4 by 5 1/4 piece of pattern paper. I have a little strip, but I think I'm probably not going to end up using it, but I cut it anyway. And then my 3-inch, which is really where I'm going to do all my coloring. So now I've gathered. Oh, this is where the pattern paper came from, in case you're wondering. And I've gathered my blends. Remember, Stampin' Blends are my favorite alcohol markers of all time. I really love them. This is the stamp that we're using. It's pretty good size. I'll put the name and everything in the description. Brand new. And you're thinking, well, now that block's not big enough. It's not, but it's big enough for the space that I actually want to stamp. So we're good. Pulling this off the backing sheet. It's super strong. Okay, notice it's all one piece, but we're going to get this really cool collection of flowers. Good press on the block. And then I'm going to use my Memento ink and put it just on the part of the stamp that fits on my block. Let's ink it up nicely with our Memento, which is a really good ink for coloring. Memento works great with alcohol ink. And we get it all inked up. And then we're going to give it some nice firm pressure, no rocking, just solid on top of the 3-inch circle we cut. And press. Super brave, no wiggling. All right, let's peel it up. Yikes. Okay, cool. I'm going to put some white paper behind it so that you can see. I always use a layer of white paper behind the image that I'm coloring on with my blends. They tend to bleed through the paper a little, but it keeps them moist and easier to blend the colors, hence Stampin' Blend. So now I'm ready to do some coloring. I picked a bunch that would go together. Notice blends come in light and dark shades. That's all you need to worry about, is the light and the dark. There's also 2 kinds of points. There's it's not really a fine point, and a brush point. I tend to start with the fine point. I also tend to start with the light color. I find it's easier to darken your image than lighten it. Pick a flower, and I'm going to do a little bit at a time. And this is real time. I'm not going to speed this video up. If you find that it boring to watch me color slowly, you can speed it up and move ahead. Honestly, I find it really relaxing to watch coloring. Sounds crazy, right? So then I do the light, then I come in with the dark, and I go over using the stamp as my guide. So wherever the artist decided should have a line, I'm going to stamp that. I'm going to color that with a dark one, come back in with a light one, and blend it together. It's going to look a little weird right now, a little blotchy, but as it dries, you will see that it's much better. And you can hardly tell where the light and the dark came together. You'll also notice that with blends, there's no lines. When you color with a marker, you can kind of see the lines of the marker. You don't have that with Stampin' Blends. I am using thick basic cardstock, basic white, to color on. It works great. You can use thick or thin. It doesn't really matter. The thick kind of absorbs a little bit more, but it really is up to you. And notice I can see the shading at the bottom of the flower because that would be kind of darker as it was opening up. And then the lighter on the ends of the flower gives it way more depth to this blossom. And I'm happy. Next color. Oh, be careful when you're putting your caps on. If you have caps on both light and dark, make sure you put the right ones back on. I'm going to go to the leaves, and this is light mossy meadow. And you'll see me bring in dark mossy meadow. I don't need to go come up with another shade. I don't need to figure out, well, what other green is it? All the mossy meadow needs is light and dark. And I will get the shading that I want. These leaves are pretty tiny. You can leave your marker uncapped while you're coloring, but try not to leave them open too long. They will dry out. So you don't want that to happen. The beauty of Stampin' Blends is they are affordable. No, they're not refillable. But when they're done, they're done. You just grab a new one, order a new one. I tend to have favorite colors that I use often. For flowers, I like the mossy meadow. I also like old olive. It tends to look more like a leaf color. Some of the green could be too green. These are ones that I like. But pick your scheme. What kinds of colors do you like? What do your flowers look like that you're looking at? So once I've gone through and I've kind of picked out all the leaves that I like, I think, I start to color the light. I highlight again using the stamp as my guide where the artist thought they should be. I'm not worrying at this point on this image on where my light source is, and some people will tell you that you need to, figure out, is it from the right or the left? On this one, you really don't need it. They're really small images. The leaves are pretty tiny, but it's just enough to add a little bit to it. Now, some of the stems are pretty tiny, and I didn't color those in. I left them in the black that they were stamped with. You could, but they're pretty small. If you look super close, you will see I might go outside the lines a little bit. I try not to. Oh, here's a case where I put the wrong cap on. I caught it before I put it away, but it could make it confusing. And I will tell you that reading the name of the blend is kind of tricky. They're only on one side. They're in multiple languages, so it takes a minute to find them. This is, it's a new color, and I don't know its name right this minute, but again, I'll list them all for you. Starting with a light one, I'm going over all the petals on the flower, not the center, all the petals, and then I will come back with the dark version of this unnamed blend and highlight where the artist did on the stamp. And you can see that it's kind of darker in the center. And then I come back with the light, go over it, and blend those two colors together, the light and the dark. And I took the light Calypso coral that I used in the big flower, and I gave that the center, just to kind of tie them together. And again, I went with a light one to start. And these are small flowers, so you can pretty much do the whole flower at once. If I was doing a bigger space, I might not do the whole flower at once. I might come back, do a petal or two, and then come back. As it starts to dry, it's harder to blend your colors. So you want to still get in there with the dark when the light one is still a little damp. So they'll blend really well together. It's not critical, but I think you'll have better success with it. If you've never done any of this before, you do not need to buy every single blend. Start with a few of your favorite colors. Look at the stamp set that you're thinking of coloring and think, well, how would this work? What kind of colors do I want in these flowers? I tend to like pinks, oranges, yellows, and so those are the colors that I picked out. You'll notice that was the Calypso again, light and dark. Calypso Coral, which is kind of a cross between the oranges and the pinks, works really well together. That is one of the new colors that I don't know off the top of my head. If you've been following me for a while, you know that I've been a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator for a long time, but about 2 years ago, I decided that I needed a change in my life, and I thought that was the problem. Little did I know it was bigger than that. I posted the whole long story on the blog, but basically, my husband and I turned 70 and thought, wow, what are we going to do? This is getting harder. We're spending more time trying to take care of the house and keep things going, and what do we do about this? And oh gosh, we're great unless there's a crisis. Like, what if one of us get all those things? So we decided it was time to downsize, and boy, did we downsize. You're going to see that I thought I liked this color when I was picking colors, but you'll notice as I start to color it in, it's pretty bright. It's a little much. Yeah, now I don't really, it's too much. I'm just going to leave that there, and I'm going to go back to the lighter pink. And I can blend that. Watch. I'll just take this lighter one and I'll kind of drag some of that darker pink up. It's so forgiving, and it kind of lightens the original one, and it makes it look more realistic the way the flower actually might grow. Pretty cool, right? Okay, so that's the light one. I'm going to bring in the dark one, blend it a little bit better, and I'm going to leave the tips of the petals a light color. Sometimes you notice when you have a flower that's been open for a while, the color starts to fade at the tip, but is still pretty deep down by the stem, and that's what I was trying to do with this one. So back to the downsizing. Boy, did we downsize. We sold our home, moved into my daughter's, it was a studio apartment, a converted 2-car garage with a huge ceiling, cathedral ceiling that's amazing, lots of bright windows, but it's not very big. We made an actual bedroom, so it's not a studio. We have a living room, kitchen, all open concept, and then the bedroom isn't huge, but it's sufficient, and our bathroom is pretty good, and my washer and dryer's in there. I'm deciding if I like this with that little piece of, and I didn't. So I'm going to go with simple. You know, I like simple cards. I don't like a lot. But in the downsizing, I ended up getting rid of a lot of things. So you're going to see me with all new Stampin' Up! As we go. Bye.